Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew McFadden. I'm the Member Engagement Coordinator with SMPS HQ. Thank you so much for this opportunity to allow me to provide a general walkthrough MySMPS.org, the SMPS online community. Give me the opportunity to kind of walk through the communities, our member directory, a lot of the resources that are here, and really show how MySMPS is a wonderful tool and resource and selling point for not only chapter leaders, but also for members of the society as well. So to get us started, I have us here at the mysmps.org homepage. As you can see, we have different areas highlighted and grouped together. For example, our latest discussions here on the left, our most popular communities, some recently shared files, some upcoming events in regards to SMPS HQ, and activities we have with our partners and other firm leaders and firms within SMPS, some recent blog posts, and of course we have our featured job posts. So this actually reads directly to the SMPS HQ Career Center. So individuals who are looking at our homepage here at mysmps.org can see the new job postings as they are posted and as they come through um, the SMPS Career Center. Of course, below that, we have our unanswered questions. It's a great tool for if you just want to pop in and see what individuals are talking about and see if you can help chime in, provide that feedback that our members are looking for. This is a great opportunity to do so. And of course, at the bottom, we give a brief description about MySMPS and, of course, our social media links for those that want to find us on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Pinterest. So before we go any further, I definitely want to kind of show any guests to MySMPS kind of the first step when doing so before you provide a discussion post or even a blog post. We always recommend that guests visit the code of conduct. Um, we want to make sure that we are providing a safe, comfortable, and productive environment for our members, and the understanding of whatever is posted is going to be responsible and be respectful to those that use this platform. So if you are interested in posting a discussion, providing feedback to a community, posting a blog post, please feel free to review the code of conduct. Just want to make sure that everyone understands the expectation of the conversations being had here. So with that being said, I will jump back to mysmps.org. Um, to start, the mysmps.org offers some great opportunities for society members to connect um, and to find excellent resources that SMPS offers. For example, we'll start here with the communities page. To get started, we always advise members to jump in and search all communities to find those communities that are beneficial to them, those that have the topics and subjects that they want to provide feedback to, engage with, and maybe just pose a question. So from here, we have all communities listed. As you can see, we have a good number of 200 total listed. I might have a little more than you might have due to the admin rights that I do have as a staff member of SMPS HQ. So you might not see that many, but we've taken uh, time over the past few months to jump into our all communities section of MySMPS and kind of clean that up. We had a few communities that were created years ago that really haven't been used, and there were very little members involved, or no members involved. So we took the time to kind of clean it up and make sure that it's much more focused and streamlined for any of the guests to mysmps.org. So as you can see here, there are a handful of options when you are looking for certain fields, just different filters to where you can kind of uh, see what the most popular communities are, the most active, We can easily do that by visiting this third option right here, where it says alphabetical. If you click on the drop-down menu, you can take a look at the communities that have been most recently updated, those that are the most active, or those that, for example, have the most people. So as you can see, all chapter leaders is coming up as the most active and with the most people, most members of that. But that's understandable because our all chapter leaders community is open, and we invite the over 1,000 chapter leaders to be involved and engage and use this resource during their program year. Um, any individual who is included on the chapter roster submitted usually in the summertime, prior to the fiscal year beginning, they are granted access to the all chapter leaders. So if those are any of the board members, committee members, for example, they all have access. Um, Actually, we'll jump right into all chapter leaders to begin with. But before we do so, I wanted to take a moment to actually go up to the top right here, where you see has my photo, and click on the profile. So actually, one tool that helps better engagement when participating on mysmps.org is to always make sure you throw a photo in here. We find those posts that have photos, they receive much more feedback. It helps to put a name to the face, and it just generally helps helps members who frequent a community to actually engage and respond to a post. So if you are interested in posting, feel free to throw up a photo. It definitely help make sure that you're receiving feedback from members of the society. But I come here prior to jumping into all chapter leaders because I myself am a member of all chapter leaders. And one thing that I would recommend that if, as a member of this community, that you're jumping into the my account section here, because as you can see, there's a lot of different settings and preferences for privacy, email, and for example, what I'm going to speak to right now is the community notifications. If you are part of that community, I definitely make sure you jump into your notifications here and just make sure that you're receiving just an email notification in regards to the activity of the community. For example, I have set to a daily digest, so every day I get an email that breaks down the discussions and the files that are shared within the community. It just helps keep me better informed as to what's taking place within the community. So I advise doing the same. But as you can see, you can break it down whatever whatever you're most comfortable with. So from here, I will jump back to the all chapter leaders community. Because as you can see, the all chapter leaders community is one of our most active, has the most posts. A lot of activity takes place here, but that is expected because it's what we like to use as the main interaction with our chapter leaders. We always post any sort of webinars, um, tons of resources for chapter leaders here. For example, and well, actually, and we also have numerous discussions taking place by chapter leaders. They jump in and they start initiating a lot of conversations within the all chapter leaders forum, or excuse me, community. So as you can see, there's a lot of discussions taking place here, but we like to use this as just a place to store a lot of resources, a lot of the manuals, the chapter, or excuse me, for example, the chapter education reports live here. Um, a lot of membership tools and resources are here. It can't overstate enough how important the library of all chapter leaders is. Um, so with that being said, we definitely make sure that as a chapter leader, you're jumping in here and taking a look at a lot of the resources that are available here to you. That way you kind of feel more comfortable when you're looking through them. Like, for example, I did mention the chapter education reports each year. The component relations team, they're reaching out to each chapter to receive information about the programs and the events that you hosted during your fiscal year. This allows us to compile this information and store it here. So when you're looking for kind of where to get started with your upcoming program year, for example, you can visit the 2018-2019 chapter education report. And as you can see, they previously were in PDFs. We've uh, since 2017-2018, we have adjusted and revised that to make those actually filtered Excel forms. That way you can work through them much easier. It allows you to focus focus what you're looking for, but also make sure you're not spending any more time looking through these than you really need to. And on top of that, as you can see, we have going back to 2013, list of unused speakers and sessions for Build Business. So each year when we send out the call for speakers for Build Business, those that are not chosen by the committee, we take that information and we throw that here on the All Chapter Leaders library. That way chapters have the ability to see who's not participating in Build Business, but also as a resource to uh, use those speakers, use those topics with chapter events. So if you're unsure kind of where to start for building out your programs and your events for your fiscal year, this is another good location to start. Trying to see who is not being used for Build Business, and gives you a starting point to kind of build out your programs for the year. Also, one thing to touch upon, as you can see, we have our calendar for the chapter volunteers. It'll take you directly to the webpage that hosts this information. But then you'll also notice we have all of our 2020-2021 SMPS chapter management manuals are here. So if you click on this, it'll show you all of the manuals for 2020-2021. We have that available already, and all set for each of those areas to jump in, make sure they feel comfortable, as well as the Treasurer's Toolkit, some strategic planning toolkit, and other information that's essential when kind of building out your fiscal year. So within this this library, there's plenty of information to look through, and we definitely make sure that when you are frequenting the library, that you understand that there's plenty of opportunities for you to jump through, take a look at all the information that's kept here, and as I alluded to and went through, there's a lot of resources here that will be helpful for you during your fiscal year. So from here, I'm going to go back to our homepage. That way you can kind of look, at least have a starting point when you're jumping into MySMPS. So after the communities, we're going to jump into the member directory. So as we sit here in the member directory, this is the only member directory that SMPS has currently. Any other link that you find on smps.org, for example, will take you here. So actually, I'm going to jump to smps.org, the SMPS HQ homepage. If you go to the menu option here, go to the Members tab, you'll see right here under MySMPS is the member directory. That's one location to find it. When you're on smps.org, another one will be at the very bottom of the page, the member directory here. So we have it in numerous places just to make sure that it's kind of easily found, but both of those links will take you directly here. So whenever we have a member who's interested in using the member directory, one recommendation that we make is, because as you can see, there's only a handful of options included here through I have the highlighted basic search available. If you click over to the advanced search actually opens us up extremely wide. So you get to the opportunity to not only view the previous options through the basic search, but expands it out to your chapters, different groups they could be, or communities they can be involved in, their job function, different certifications, the firm size of their firm, the facilities types that they work with, as well as the services provided. For example, what I will do is I can choose the Columbus chapter, SMPS Columbus. I just want to see, how many members are a part of SMPS Columbus. So I choose the SMPS Columbus chapter. I scroll all the way down to the bottom and hit Find Members. Take a moment for it to search. And then if you scroll down further, it'll show you all of the members of that chapter. So you can find out how many members are of the chapter by searching this way, who those individuals are. It's a great tool to kind of figure out, I'm going to be working in a certain area, for example. You can search by chapter. I want to be involved with those that are working on hospitals, for example, or maybe government projects, for example. Who are those firms that are working with government projects? I want to partner and team with those. Who's handling, healthcare facilities? Let me see which members in their firms are handling healthcare facilities. So you can actually use multiple search points. So you can do Columbus and those that have healthcare facilities also listed on their member profile. Um, We're going to go back to the search options and try this one more time. So again, we have the Columbus, the healthcare facilities, and then find members. It does have to be a new search each time. And then you can, through that chapter and through that location, you can find any of the firms, those members that handle healthcare facilities, for example. So it really helps build out a lot of the teaming opportunities for you. So definitely make sure that you're taking full advantage of using, or when using, the member directory. So moving forward, I want to jump over to our Marketing Resource Center, because our Marketing Resource Center, specifically the MRC, Marketing Resource Center Library, it's a very popular resource for our members. So you can see there's a lot of items here, a lot of resources available to members. For example, the one of the most popular being our marketer articles. We actually have all issues of the marketer stored here within the Marketing Resource Center back to 2012. So as you receive or have received your marketer, you should know that before we had the last few issues go completely digital, we did have a physical copy sent to all members, as well as the digital copy stored within the Marketing Resource Center. And as you can see within that file for the February 2020 issue of Marketer, we have each article broken down individually, and they're high quality PDFs, so you can take a look at those and look at those individually, whether that's the member spotlight, how a culture of enabling attracts and keeps young talent. There's just a lot of resources available through the marketer article section here in the Marketing Resource Center. So it's a lot of information, it's a lot of articles, but it's a great tool. It's a great resource to have. So if you can't find yours, or if you just prefer to read it digitally, feel free to visit the Marketing Resource Center and go back as far as you would like. There's a lot of great options here. And actually, the marketer article section of the Marketing Resource Center is one of two of the resources here that are actually updated the most frequently. They're updated, the marketer articles is updated every other month with the issue of Marketer, and our learning labs. So every other month, as you're aware, members have free access to one of our free learning labs. So we actually have over 30 plus webinars and learning labs here available free to members when they join. You can go as far back to one of the first ones we've done, which was working with Prezi. For example, we have All of these are saved. I believe they're all 90-minute long webinars that include the handout and the link to view. It's a YouTube link. So feel free to jump into any of these as a member joins, or if you just weren't familiar with it and you've been a member for a while, this is the best location to find, or the only location, excuse me, to find all of the learning labs that are available to you as a member of SMPS. So again, as you can see, we have our program handouts and the actual recording. And as they are 90-minute recordings, they all do lead to a YouTube link. So you can feel free to jump through and kind of preview some if you'd like. And I do recommend, if you have questions, feel free to connect with the speaker. All of our speakers are really great about keeping that line of communication open with attendees and those that do frequent the Learning Lab section here of MySMPS. So with that said, I'm going to jump actually back to our communities here, because there's a lot of great resources here within the communities tab. One of those being, jump through our maybe most active communities available and take a look through through all chapter leaders again. So as you can see here, we've recently included additional information from CLS 2020, the virtual experience. We have a lot of information that'll be coming in through here over the next week or so. A lot of the recordings and sessions that we hosted had SMPS HQ staff and other speakers hosting our PEs, president-elects, and our program leads. So feel free to jump into that. There's a lot of great discussions there, a lot of great content and resources that are available to anyone who's a part of the All Chapter Leaders community. And please know this is only available for chapter leaders. We've limited just to those that are working with the chapter. This is not available to all members. And again, we do have it set for those who are on the roster submitted each fiscal year to make sure they have that community to come to and build the engagement between chapters and the different members of their board. So within here, also want to take a look at all communities, because as you can see, we have a lot of communities that are built around just chapters in general. For example, there's Boston Board of Directors, Austin Board, Atlanta Board. We definitely recommend that when you are using MySMPS as maybe a place to have your notes from your board meetings included, or other documentation from your board of director meetings and other chapter meetings, that you use MySMPS as a repository for those documents. We're aware that a lot of chapters prefer to use like Dropbox, for example, but unfortunately, since a lot of that's password protected, and if somebody falls off and you are unable to get the password from them, those documents kind of just get lost. So we definitely recommend using MySMPS as a place to store those documents, just because if you find that an individual has dropped off and you don't have access to some of this information, as you can always reach out to SMPS HQ. We can work with the chapter to provide the access to the chapter and the board to ensure that nothing gets lost, and we can move the ownership, for example, of those communities or that community to the correct individuals, so nothing can kind of get lost. No chapter has to go without. So definitely make sure you use the MySMPS chapter community as well. And if you find that you don't have one, please feel free to go up to the create a new community section here in the all communities tab and create that community. You can provide access to members of the board or members of the committee to ensure they are able to get in, have those discussions, use the library function to store those documents, and really help engage everybody and keep everybody active. So with that being said, I think we will stop there for now. But if you have any other questions, definitely feel free to reach out to me directly. I'll jump over here to SMPS HQ website, and you can always touch base with the HQ team, which is the best place to connect with the SMP HQ staff. Feel free to reach out to either Julio or myself. All of our contact information is here. We are available for any of your questions or any assistance you might need. With that being said, thank you so much for all of your time today, and feel free to reach out if anything comes up in the future. Thank you so much.